John, and I know your week's been disrupted a little bit this week, but what have you made of the start to the season?
Well, it's only early days, but I still think there's improvements, possibly acceptable. Eh, I think if we look at the league games, probably played well, 2.5 of them. Played really well in a cup against Samia. So we're always striving to be better. The injuries have been a problem because they've all come into one area, which is defensively. But lads who stepped in have done well. And you know, we're always trying to be better. We're always trying to be better organised. We're doing a lot of work tactically on the shape of our team, and I think we're seeing the benefits of it.
You mentioned the other day about being more flexible at the back and at the front, and then the way you play. How do you go about doing that?
It's practice on the training ground, and you know, we very much like to have the players take ownership of the coaching and the learning, and you know, because they're the ones who have to make the decisions on the pitch when we're playing, and you hear managers shouting on, you know, for 90 minutes, and you hear coaches shouting on for 90 minutes, and you know, sometimes that can be counterproductive because you're confusing the players. Other times it's helpful for the players. But you've got to be careful that you don't become background noise. And we like to try and get our work done on the training ground, and try and give the players scenarios and watch videos and analyse our own performances where we think we give them scenarios that they have to make decisions in. We've always said that the better players make better decisions, they make them quicker, and they execute the decisions well. So that's why the ones who play in the top flight do. And you're always striving to be better. That's striving to get to them levels. And you know, we've got lads who are really keen to do well, really keen to work hard. If you look at our performances this season, the one thing that you can say is that they've been going right to the end every game. So that's pleasing.
Attacking wise, you're scoring goals. Your new striker hasn't scored yet. That will come. How pleased are you with the way you've attacked games?
Well, we're making chances, and we made a hell of a lot of chances last year. I think we were third in the league last year for chances created. And we're getting shots off. We need to get more on target. Matt's played a pivotal role in the way he's led the line, been carrying an injury as well, which is credit to him. And then we have Coley, who gives us a different option. We also have Josh Woods, who gives us a different option. And unfortunately, we signed Big Torre and we haven't seen him because of a calf injury. But he'll give us another different option. And young Enoch's gone out on loan to Southport, and young Reese has gone out on loan, which will only develop them further. So we don't want to become predictable in one dimension. We've also got Sean Worley, who's very attacking, Joe Pritchard, who's very attacking, Sean McConville, who's very attacking, Tommy Lee, who's very attacking. So in a blink, you've got about 6 or 7 really attacking players on the pitch, playing different positions, and people see the team sheet, and because they don't see 2 recognised strikers, they think we're playing 1 up front. We have been playing 3 up front, and I keep saying it and people don't believe me. So
That's what I thought. Just one of the players you mentioned there, Sean McConville. His stats are really high in terms of pass completion rate. He's obviously scoring. He's 33 years old. How pleased were you with his start to the season? Because he's got the extra mantle of the captain's armband as well.
Yeah, Sean's been very, very good. Great influence on the team, the way he plays. And the best captains do lead by example with the performances. You can be a great leader, you can be a great shouter and motivator, but you've got to motivate players by what you do on the pitch. And first and foremost, you've got to be one of the better players. And Sean is, and has been for quite a while. Disappointed with his goal returns last year. He knows that. He's already improved this season, you know, 2 and 3. So if he keeps that going, he should be getting the returns that he gets. He will always get assists because he's a clever player. And he has been one of our better players this season. You know, we said from the start of the season that our focus is on defending. Now we haven't done as well as what we should do. You know, we shouldn't be conceding 4 goals at home against any team. And that's something that we've got to tighten up. And when you look back at the goals, they are avoidable. And what you got to remember is players don't make mistakes on purpose. You know, players don't deliberately air shot in the 6-yard box. They don't deliberately lose the man. You know, when you're in the heat of a game, you've got to make decisions, and that goes back to what I said before. You've got to make them decisions a little bit quicker and get them right more often than not. And that's what we're constantly working on.
2 weeks of the transfer window left. If you had the same squad beyond the end of August now, would you be happy, or do you want to bring more players in?
I think you're never happy with your squad. If you're happy with your squad, you tend to go backwards. You sit on your laurels or you rest on your laurels. We're mindful of the fact that we don't want to get too many bodies in and just not use people. You know, it depends on how the injury situation go. We might be a striker light, and we might be a left back light, and that's something that we'll look to address.
Are you close to doing any more deals before the weekend, do you think?
Not before the weekend, but possibly before next week.
Milton Keynes, you've played them a lot over the years. What are your thoughts? They haven't had a particularly good start to the season. They lost a few players in the summer, but maybe a bit of a hangover from getting to the playoffs last season. How do you approach this one?
It's going to be a tough game. We've watched the video with them playing against during the week against Port Vale. Any team losing that amount of goals at the team, losing Swine and Parrott, is always going to be a problem for them. But you know, I'm pleased that they got the result, because I didn't want us going there looking for them to get off the mark. But every game we play in this league is going to be tough, and it's going to pose different problems. They'll play a slightly different system than what they played last year, and we've got to be prepared for that. And we've got to be mindful of what they're capable of doing, and then we've got to try and emphasise what we can do to them and try and work on that as well. So it's a double-edged sword of what you're working this week and saying.
A repeat of your last away game that you actually played will do all right, won't it? The 1-0 at Shrewsbury.
I'll bite your hand off for that right now. But you know, we know that if we put the effort in, we're capable of getting our rewards. You need a little bit of luck along the way. I don't think anyone can fault our players this season for effort. In the 4 games they've played, they've given it all. And as a manager, it's the first thing you'd ask for. But once you get it, it's hard to be disappointed.
From what you've seen so far, do you think you can at least improve on what you did in the previous season?
Well, it's too early to tell you.
Yeah.
We haven't seen, you know, lots of teams. You know, obviously you're watching games on TV, you're watching videos, and you're always trying to educate yourself on the league. But it's going to be an unforgiving league, and we say this every year. I think what people look at Accrington now and they think that we belong in League One, which is a far cry from years ago. Yeah. And you can only belong in League One if you do the hard graft and get the points to stay in there. So there's no givens in this league. There's no one here because they've got a divine right to. And staying in this league, you know, with the resources we've got, is an achievement, but it's not the achievement that we want to settle for. We're always striving to be better, and I think in any walk of life, whatever you've got, wherever you've come from, you're always striving to be better and doing better for the next generations who come through.
You want that promotion feeling again, though, won't you? You haven't had it for a while.
I'd love it. It's generally cyclical, but the problem with us is we only get promoted when we win the league, and it's a big ask to win League One.